Okay, hello. Oh, it's on, okay. This is Kotaku.com. Kotaku.com. We're here today to talk about Mexican food and independent video games. This is Adam Saltzman. Saltzman, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I always know, you may know him as Adam Atomic. He's a member of semi-secret software, which is not, it's like software that's not completely secret. Why is that the name of your company? Where'd you get that?
The URL was available.
Oh, really? That's it?
That's as deep as it goes.
Wow, you know, I know I've been to your website. I've been to the Canabalt website many times. Is it semisecretsoftware.com or semisecret.com?
It's semisecretsoftware.com.
Oh, okay.
Which is frustratingly lengthy, but
yeah, it's a bit long. It's hard to tweet, but that's why they have those URL shortening things.
We've been spinning out with all the games have their own page, so people don't have to remember the company name.
Do you have canabalt.com?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have an absurd story about getting it, but it's probably lengthy. And
try and summarize it in 2 sentences.
A guy had it, and after arguing with him for 8 hours over AIM, he offered to trade it to me in order to run a fan site on canabalt.net.
For a fan site? Well, wait, did he buy it after the game was announced? Oh, it wasn't just something he thought of himself. Why did you choose that name of the game?
It's actually my nephew was playing a lot of Fat Princess and couldn't pronounce catapult. He kept saying canabalt, and it's made up, but it feels like it has all those aspects of velocity and violence.
Yeah, there's definitely a velocity thing.
It has connotations despite being invented.
Just like Kotaku almost sounds like. I think I've noticed that trend a lot with like website names. They're not real words anymore. I know game magazines used to be like Game Pro or Game Informer, really unimaginative.
Real words are really, really useful, but it's, I don't know, you definitely run a big risk when you just make up a word, because it'll be like Zynga, which is like the worst name for anything.
Sounds kind of dumb, yeah.
Yeah, it's meaningless.
To put it lightly. Yeah, but Cannonball actually, it sounds like a brand name. For example, I like Sony. When I first saw the Sony motion controller yesterday, when I saw that, I saw it on the internet. I wasn't at the press conference because those things are kind of boring. So I was just reading it on the internet, and I thought when it was PlayStation Move, I thought it was PlayStation Move.
Oh, right.
I thought that would be so cool. Wouldn't that be cool? That would, because they're really good about putting fake, making up words.
Yeah, they got all kinds of awesome fake words.
Bravia, Vio,
yeah.
They've got a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, like cars. Cars have pretty good fake names most of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Camry sounds like a car.
Yeah.
It sounds like a vehicle.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like a vehicle in its own class of
it's not a car or truck. It's a Camry.
It's a Camry. Yeah. It's really impressive. Are you a big fan of vehicles?
No, pretty much not. I like jetpacks, maybe.
Jetpacks?
Spaceships.
Spaceships?
And hover bikes, probably. I hate driving. I absolutely despise driving.
Really? Do you like running?
I like running more now.
Now that you've made Cannabalt a game about running?
Now that I have these.
Yeah, I was going to get to these. These are... why don't you tell? I could explain what these are, but you go ahead. What are they?
Sure. This is the Vibram or Vibram 5 fingers, and they're I've been referring to them as foot condoms, which sounds kind of vile, but there's zero padding, zero support, no structure. It just stops your feet from getting cut.
It prevents your feet from getting injured.
Yeah.
But it provides the experience of running with bare feet.
Yeah, it's like you're on the beach all the time. You walk around San Francisco,
exactly.
But it feels like you're at the beach.
I could not have put it better myself.
It's fabulous.
Well, if somebody had offered me like $100,
I enjoy running way more in these than I ever did in shoes. I feel clumsy.
You enjoy walking in them too. Notice I'm not wearing them now.
Yeah.
Because I had to go through I was carrying on one bag on the plane.
Yeah.
Coming from Tokyo. And I always get stopped because I have this Swedish schoolgirl haircut and these cartoonish glasses. I always get stopped and interviewed. And if I were wearing those shoes, they would probably detain me in the little office for Because do you get that a lot of people telling you, the shoes are weird?
Yeah. It's been kind of nonstop, and some people can totally get into it and accept it. It's usually it's very. I won't say this exactly, but it's kind of like if they have they have a friend who's worn them, then they're kind of okay with it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, no, I know a guy that wears those, and then they're kind of cool with it. But if they've never seen them before, they can't handle it.
So were you not the first person you know to wear those shoes?
No, I had a friend in New Zealand who got a pair, and then Colin Northway, who did Fantastic Contraption, he's had a pair for a while, and I think they're kind of blowing up. Somebody here, I saw a photo from one of the indie dev gatherings from 2008, and a woman there had 5 fingers on them.
She was wearing them.
Way ahead of the curve.
So, okay, yeah, wow, yeah. I've actually had a pair since about 2008, so.
Yeah.
But I thrive on looking weird in public.
Yeah.
Like, I've actually
Well, it's refreshing that they both look weird and are completely amazing in every regard.
Yeah, yeah. So you see a lot of jerks wearing, I don't call them jerks, wearing Crocs, you know?
Yeah.
Those aren't even comfortable, and they're not good for you.
Doing
The
anything.
arch support is awful. I wore a pair because, you know, I'm a fan of really, like, light footwear,
Yes.
you know? Like, I don't like feeling bogged down.
Yeah.
You know, and then you put on Crocs and it's like, you feel like a jerk.
Yeah, it's terrible.
You feel like you're on the beach in the bad way, in these shoes and your in these sand in your shoes.
Like you're on the beach, but you're like a Danish hobo or something.
Yeah. And there's just nowhere else to go but the beach. You feel like you're on the beach under the boardwalk.
Yeah.
Taking a nap.
Yeah, it's not good. These are phenomenal.
So wait, are you a big fitness runner?
I try to be. I'm way more into rock climbing.
Oh yeah.
Rock climbing is actually how I met Eric, the other half of Semi Secret, and I love it. And running is very good for that. And I mean, I like running for an excuse to be off of the computer and to provide like. Orson Scott Card used to talk about this. He's like completely insane now, apparently.
Yeah, he says some very controversial things.
Yeah. But he used to talk about how it was a really great thing to have a mechanical distraction. That was a really powerful thing for the creative side of your mind, to be forced to do something menial. And I find very few things as menial as running.
What about lifting weights?
That somehow doesn't have the same effect. It requires too much focus or too much concentration on something.
Running is well, I mean, I know a lot of people who lift weights and they're like, oh yeah, you've got to do cardio if you want to, you know, build muscle or burn fat, but you know, cardio is so boring. And it's like, you know, I'm the only person I know who's like, no, it's not boring. It's I can just run for 4 straight hours and, you know, just be like, oh, you know.
I can run for probably 4 straight minutes easily.
Really? Well, how fast 40. Are we talking? What's your 1 mile?
Now.
How many meters can you run before falling off a building?
I ran a half marathon a couple years ago.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What was your time?
Like 2:06 or something.
That's better than the.
It was vaguely respectable, but I ran it in A6 and I hurt my foot really bad, and I actually haven't run much since then until I got these.
Those are pretty good for running.
Yeah.
You got to be careful not to let your knees get in front of your toes.
Yeah. That's like, I find myself doing like a kick thing. Like when I run, I feel like I'm reaching out with my toes first, and it's.
You've got to do
strange, but
you got to do like a crank with the back of your foot. When your foot comes down, you got to be like that, like kind of pushing pushing off like that, like kind of like they make these I don't know if you have like an exercise bike, but they make these cranks that you can put on there that force you to backpedal a little bit with each pump. And really strengthens up your calves. I've got pretty huge. I got like 16-inch calves.
So the first time we ran these, we were on our way to running. I picked them up on the way.
Oh really?
Just, like strapped them on. I ran 800 meters and like both calves seized up entirely.
Yeah.
Like I had to stop, stretch for like 20 minutes, walk, and I ran like another 400 meters. Like my calves could not handle it. But we've gotten up to about 3 miles in them so far without having like massive medical damage.
Hey, that's training. That's what you do.
Yeah. So I was amazed how weak I was. Like really. Because I could have done 8 miles that day in normal shoes. It's a real
it's a whole different thing. Because they teach you a lot about your posture and the way you stand up.
Totally.
Because you find yourself distributing your feet. You feel your toes spreading. Before you wore those, had you ever worn like 5-finger socks?
No,
I'm
I hadn't.
not wearing 5-finger socks now. That would have been so cool if I was. But, yeah. So it's that's kind of a way a lot of people ease into the idea of wearing those. Okay, I'm going to cut this video now. We're going to do another one. This is good.